how much did they get paid to make this is my question. How hard could it be? Where's the line between a good illustration and a bad illustration?
I'm not sure what it is about certain things. It's like, "Oh, yeah, I really like that," and you can look at something else and just like, "Ugh, no thanks."
Welcome back to the Wax Quill Podcast. Woohoo! Okay, so for listeners, what's going on here is I had the goal getting a children's book ready to publish or published. I'm not sure if I'll try it indie or the normal way. But I'm not actually any good at drawing. So I was like, oh, how hard could it be? I read lots of books and the artwork is so simple. How hard could it be? I need like 12 pictures, no big deal. But my sister Angie is an artist.
Well, ish.
Give us a bit of your background then.
I like art like everybody else. Um, no, I used to draw quite a bit as a kid and as a teenager. Um, I am still capable of drawing. Um, it's been a long time since I've really been able to sit down and have my own art projects and be able to have like my paints and things of that sort. Um, I don't draw people well, but I can do animals. You know, I have to have reference paper. I can't just do it off my head, but I do like to draw animals and you know, I did some college. I started some college stuff right out of uh high school to I wanted to be an illustrator. That's actually what I started to go to college for. So I took some art classes. I enjoyed them. I ended up dropping out. You know, I was pregnant with my first son, and things were a little bit difficult with my husband's military training and deployment, and anyway, whole thing. So I didn't do that anymore. But I still enjoy, you know, sitting and drawing when I can with my kids, even though it's not really a project, it's just something fun that we can sit and do. I try to encourage my children to draw and be creative and have their own artistic exploration. I love going to art museums. Those are so cool. I could spend all day in an art museum. So that's me. I'm
So
not a professional, but I have an appreciation for that and a little bit of experience.
I didn't know you wanted to be an illustrator.
Yeah, that's actually that's what that is what I started college for was illustration and art. I still have a bag full of my high school and college projects in my garage gathering dust. I learned a couple of cool things with that. Um, Mom still has my my chicken painting I gave her and one of my flower paintings that I did for her. I think I don't know if Jen still has that sunflower that I painted for her, but so there's a couple of things like that. I had a really cool idea for Peach, um, our other sister, one of our other sisters.
One of them.
Um, for her business, she was telling me about something that she wanted to have in her background when she did like videos and calls and stuff. And so there was a big project that I wanted to do on a bigger canvas, and I had some ideas for it. And I'm still tempted when life gets a little bit less crazy to get a really big canvas and make her do the project for her.
Make her
Yeah,
background.
yeah.
That would be so cool.
Yeah. So, it's kind of one of those things. I need to write my book first. I need to finish my book. So,
Well, we're gonna make you an illustrator. It's gonna happen. Your dream will
uh,
be fulfilled.
I gotta finish my book first.
What made you want to be an illustrator?
That's a really good question. That is a really good question. I don't know.
I
It
just
was
remember.
something I was good at. I mean, very naturally, if you're good at something, it's kind of like, oh, maybe this could be my job, right? Um, I know I mention our mother quite a bit, but she's
She's awesome.
very, she built a lot of our foundation
Yeah.
for the arts and things of that sort. And so I just remember her reading stories to us and being, very fascinated with different ways that authors and illustrators would present a story.
Mhm.
And then how mom, when she would tell stories, it was always she would describe all the things. And this is how they looked. And this is, so you could see it very much so. So even though her art was not something you could see, she built it in the story. So it was a very visual experience for us. And I think that that played a lot into why I appreciate art so much.
Mhm.
Mom always had an appreciation for nature. We were always stopping and looking at bugs or plants or leaves and the colors and oohing and awing over the stars and whatever. So th- all those, the colors, how things looked, how things were pieced together in story, uh, was very just natural to the story process. And drawing itself was a very natural thing. Granny was very artistic. We have aunts and cousins who are artists themselves. So that kind of creativity I feel like is a natural thing for our family.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, I think I was natural at it. I was good at it. It was something I enjoyed doing. So it very becoming an illustrator was a very just clear thing for me to do since I didn't really know what else I wanted to do.
Yeah. Hmm. That's cool. I never knew that about you.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm even more amazed by you.
I love it so much.
Well, I remember being, well, I'm the youngest, right? The perfect child. And I remember us being outside and drawing with chalk, and Rachel and I like never knew what to draw. But it was
Mhm.
always fun when you were out there because you'd be like, "Oh, let's do this," and you'd create this like huge caveman scene with these cavemen, and they had bones,
Oh, right.
and they had these funny little like ovular mouths and like little bracelets on, and they were just so cool.
We did a lot of that. I remember, yeah, the chalk. Yeah, seeing another thing. Mom was very big in us going outside and being with the chalk drawing. We always had chalk stuff.
Well, see,
Always.
now that my kids are here and I see her with them, I read books to my kids, right? But when I see
Yeah.
her reading books, she doesn't even read them. She's, oh, look at this picture. Look at the leaves. Look at this. Look at the eyes. Look at this and that. And I don't do that with my kids. I just read them and expect them to
No,
look.
see, I do that too though. I'm always like, oh my gosh, so I have to do the voices, right? My boys think it's really funny because there are some voices I can mimic um characters from movies sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And so they think it's funny when I do voices for the characters. They're always like, "Oh, mom, you gotta do the voices. You gotta do the voices." And so, mom does the voices, and then she also does the pointing out everything. And I do that too. I'm always like, "Oh my gosh, look at his eyeballs. He looks so weird. Can you do that?" And then we'll try to do little weird faces and all the thing. So I like doing that too with my kids, doing the things. I just remember mom reading oh I have one of her books, Jan Brett,
Jan Brett books. Yeah.
and I love how in the borders, the little hedgehog, or the one where what is it called? Annie and the wild animals or something like that, where her cat goes missing and she wants a friend, right?
Like
So she
out or something.
yeah. But in the little borders you can see the kitty cat and all the little babies playing in the trees and stuff. I love that. I love that so much. I still love that to this day. I'm always like getting into it. Anyway, I see I'm geeking out over it right now.
No, that's what this is. That's what this
I
is.
love that.
Hmm.
It was like a secret little, you could find the hedgehog. What's the hedgehog doing? Why is he being so silly? Like it was just
Or
another
yeah,
part of the
yeah,
world building.
a little mitten on his head, and he's running around.
Uh-huh. He puts the little collar on. He's drinking out of the bowl. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. When they wanted a pet, that's right. The
the little troll. Yeah,
trolls. Mm-hmm.
they were trying to steal the dog.
Want dog.
What dog? That's right. What dog?
Well, now that we're talking about our mom, I'm starting to think that maybe she got us into art so that we would be distracted and leave her alone.
There were there were seven of us, probably played a little bit into that. But she's also, she wanted us to play musical instruments
Yeah.
so we would have an appreciation for music. She wanted us to have an appreciation for art, appreciation for the stories. You know, as she always claims to be not very artistic or creative, but I feel like she played a big role in our own little creativity paths.
Has there ever been a time when you've picked up a book and looked at the artwork and been like, ugh?
Oh yeah. Oh
Hmm.
yeah. I like this book. My husband actually kind of shared it with our boys. I can't stand the illustrations. I can't. It's called Forever and Ever My Baby You'll Be.
I hate those illustrations too. They're so like,
I don't like them.
I guess the the faces are weird.
Yeah, I don't I've tried to kind of analyze what it is that just is off about them because it's not like they're particularly out of the ordinary, but I I don't I don't like them. I love the book.
Adorable
I don't.
story.
Yeah,
Illustrations
yeah.
favors.
Yeah. Mm-mm. It was yeah, I don't know. That is one that sticks in my mind of just no. So this is the complete Brambley Hedge.
It's
Did I
beautiful.
show you these? Oh, just you wait. Okay. So not only is this, I love these stories. They're little Edwardian mousies that live, like it's just a little community of mouses, and they're Edwardian, and their clothes are so cute. And there's little, now look at this.
Oh, very detailed. A whole kitchen scene,
Yeah.
shelves, a whole fireplace, a little calendar, or is that a door? Two little mice cooking a cake.
Yeah, there's like cupboards. They
Oh,
got little teacups. You see how
everything's
there's
neat.
things, all the things they're making.
But the colors are very muted.
Yes, and it looks very it's like watercolor and pen. So it does a lot of this when it's describing a place.
Oh, so it like does a cutout as if cutting
Yeah.
so you can like a what are those little
Yeah, yeah,
ant
yeah.
you can see everything on the inside?
Uh-huh. So it shows you all those things, but then also it has like the little kitchen scene, their little dresses. Let me find a really good one where you can see their clothes. Okay.
Oh, are they at a wedding?
Yeah, that's a wedding.
Oh my goodness, look at all their little hats.
Aren't they adorable? And look at this little.
And there's the cake. Oh my goodness. And you can see the grass is very tall.
Yes. Uh-huh.
The grass. Wow.
Okay. This little book. I love it. You can see their little outfits,
Little
very their
waistcoat.
little hats, yeah, and their little trousers, vests.
the basket they're holding for a picnic, I imagine.
Yeah. And just, more cutouts of the place.
Hmm. Their little home tunnel. Beautiful
Yeah.
winding staircase, very, very windy.
But
Uh,
isn't it just interesting? I love all of it. I could sit and just, I don't know why, but I love it. So that's what me and my youngest son are reading together. The stories are super cute too, because it's just their little lives through the seasons. So there's a little wedding, and one of the little mousy girls get lost, and they find her. Anyway, it's a whole thing. There's a secret birthday party playing in the snow. It's
it's
fantastic. Anyway,
this
so
is
yeah, I love that book.
this is completely unrelated, but tell me what you think because it makes me. It reminded me of this. There was a little Instagram post, and it was a woman, and she said, Lord of the Rings was incredible, but they're not giving us anything that we want. We don't want Rings of Power. What we want is a little show about the hobbits, and they're trying to set up like a celebration, and they have all these things going on. There's a tea party and drama, and there's like a yard sale, and there's a baking competition, and there's a
Yeah.
garbage competition, and you have these hobbits getting all invested in these, and we just follow it. And it turns out it's Sam at the very end telling the story of this.
I would love it.
Wouldn't that be incredible? Just
Can you imagine their pumpkin? Like you see at the end of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, right? That big pumpkin, and he's like, "Oh, watch out for the pumpkin," and they're like wiping it down and the whole thing. Can you imagine? I would love it. I'd be like, "All right, I'm here for the pumpkins, guys. Hobbit pumpkin, I'm here."
but it, just the beautiful little details,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think that there were the Lord of the Rings, the story, and then also that the way that Peter Jackson like built the visual world of it was awesome.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I could totally do with a Hobbit life life story,
A Hobbit series.
a Hobbit series. Yeah, just hobbits living their best lives.
Okay, I did have a question. How old are your kids and why are you not arting?
Arctic.
What is the word?
um,
Why are you not creating art? I don't know. Arting should be a verb. To art.
um, to art, to art. Um, no. So my oldest son is turning 13. And then I have 11 and a 7-year-old. I so I guess my art changed from me sitting and sketching and doing projects of that sort. I sort of morphed it into other things. So when my oldest son was little toddler, I would make shirts for him. And shirts I basically designed myself. Um, so I would get, pictures or whatever. I'd do the little cut out whatever I was gonna do. I would make the words and then I would make him shirts. I also did this one where it was long sleeve. There was a couple that I did for him. It was long sleeved and he's maybe like 2, right? So it's this little white shirt. I put a bear, a very grumpy looking bear on it. And then on his sleeve, I cut out little bear paws to put going down his sleeve. And it said Berry Grumpy on it. It was good looking too. And that's what I would make for him. Shirts like that. I also got some embroidery floss and made him little stars going across one of his shoulders and down his arm on a different shirt and down his back. So it was very just different and simple, but it was a different kind of art. It was a just an artistic outlet that I felt was more focused around what my life was now focused on.
Mm.
You know, like my kids, it was something I could share with him and make for him that made me feel artsy, but also was practical, you
Mhm.
know. So, I also took up knitting because I felt like that was, that's when I started to knit. Mom taught me how to crochet. I taught myself how to knit, and I was making dead fish hats for him. I made him a dead fish hat. Did I ever show you that?
It was hilarious.
Yeah, so I made him dead fish hat, which is, I knitted that for him. That was another little to art, you know? Uh, it changed to things of that sort. So I still knit now, um, but I don't sit too much and just do art projects that I want to do. It's different.
Mhm.
I do chalk art with my kids now. Yeah. But I don't I feel like there's not enough time. My children are still young enough that a lot of my time goes to their care and projects. I work also, so there's that.
Yeah.
We're trying to maintain a house, so laundry, dishes, the usual. Even though my children have chores, I am now spending a lot of time making sure that they do their chores,
Mm.
and trying to keep the house running. And then I also have animals who require care and consideration and time. A garden, which, this is the season where that's taking up a lot of my time. I live in a place where everything grows, whether you want it to or not. So I spend a lot of time weeding and maintaining and cutting down stuff, and it all just takes time. I'm also working on my book. I'm trying to get my book finished. Book boot camp. All right,
Oh,
I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. Um,
man, I should keep going with it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I know what's wrong with me. I've got stuff going on too.
boo, lame.
This L, it's for you.
Um, I'll leave it alone. But book boot camp. So I'm working on my project that I was working on for that, and I'm trying to get it done. My goal was getting it done by the end of the year. Even though I feel like I'm been so busy, I'm still trying to maintain that goal, which is taking a lot of time. I'm also going to be taking an herbalism class in the next couple months, which is going to be taking up time. So I have other projects. I don't ever want to say that I won't ever pick it up again. I just feel like my art season is not right now.
Mm.
So perhaps when my children are a little bit older, and I feel like that's something that I can sit down and do,
Mm.
maybe at a different time in my career. Um, there's seasons for everything, and the season's just not right now for lots of illustrating. So,
That. Well, and it's with writing, no one believes me, but uh you can dictate, while you're driving, while you're going on walks, while you're
right,
sitting
right, right.
with the kids. You can get away with it while you're still watching even little kids. Drawing, you can't really.
You can't do it. I don't feel like you can. And I know that there's people like our cousin. She's always coming out with, "Oh, well, I did this portrait and I did this." I mean, she comes out with art regularly.
Mhm.
I don't know how she does it.
I will say she has one child, but I know she also has like at least one full-time job.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
I don't know. Maybe she stays up all night and does it. I have no clue.
yeah.
That's not me right now. That's not going to be my focus, probably not for a while. Um, And that's okay. I can still
Yeah,
enjoy illustrations.
I know. That's just fine.
So I do think though with the whole writing book stuff, like I have my Google Docs on my phone and it really is so much easier just be like, okay, I've got a couple of minutes and just got a couple sentences down.
Mhm.
I don't know.
That's great.
Maybe after I finish a book, I'll be like, hey, I just have my tiny little sketchbook and I can sit down and do that. I'm just not there yet.
Well, and with the book you're writing, it's kind of a middle grade, so you don't need to have
Yeah.
a picture on every page. You can have a picture in every chapter or just whenever you feel like it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's not that that's a possibility. That's definitely something I could think about after it's finished.
Yeah, no rush. Okay. So I wanted to show you, I know you've already seen most of them, if not all of them. We're going to pretend you haven't. But I'm going to show you some of the things that I've been drawing because I don't have a lot of drawing experience. I am taking a Udemy course that I purchased before I had kids. So I bought it like 6 years ago.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, I'm like 63% of the way through. Finally. But it's with character design. And so he does really like comic drawing or anime. So more
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's about a baby, right? So I have these kind of sketches. I wasn't sure what to go with. This is not
Mhm.
mine. This I found on Pinterest and I just loved how soft it was and how cute it was.
Yeah.
And this is of my daughter. I did that. And then I was trying to figure out how I wanted this little character to look, this little baby. He's running around. So I don't know. I tried with these little blocky, kind of following the recipe that he had for how to draw the proportions and everything. There's
Yeah.
it looks like it's squished, but it just nothing really spoke to me until this last week when I think I finally figured out the shape of my character and how to draw them. So it's basically two circles and a cone. Yeah, like here's him when he's really sad. Down with this big little bum.
I love that his bum is like the biggest part of him. Just his shape is very
It's
I
slightly smaller
love
than his
that.
head, but not much.
Yes.
There's this one. This one's kind of pale, but yeah. His
Yeah.
head's a circle, his bum is a circle, and then there's a little triangle connecting his bum to his head.
See, and I love how tiny his feet are. See, I
Yeah,
love that. His feet are little, his hands are little. It's just
I don't even know if he's gonna have hands. I
yeah.
can
Where it's like just mhm.
maybe having thumbs, but and then the toes are kind of
But
duck feet ish.
I love that.
Then I had this other thing, and now I run into problems because I have like this little thing where he's
Oh,
supposed
yeah.
to be down, had some Cheerios in his hand, and he's furious right now. He's very upset. And so he's scrutinizing them with his tiny little, well, his eyes are huge, with his beady little pupils on his huge eyeballs. And it just looks weird. And I can't figure out what I did wrong there. So I don't know.
I
I'm not,
really do think maybe it's the bottom eyelid.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, see, and then I had this other, I wanted to have two pictures on, I can't even tell which way I'm supposed to show this to you. And then it goes to this one where he's crumbling up the Cheerios.
It just crumbles.
But that one I
Oh,
think looks fine. This one is just weird, like his, I don't know what I did wrong, but something's up. And now I feel bad because I'm like, yeah, I thought I could illustrate my own book, but now people are gonna see this and they're gonna know that I'm a fake and I'm a fraud. So, but then I look at other things like this, which is the reason why I thought, oh yeah, I could totally illustrate a book. I love this book. Let me just say it. I love this book. However, I do not like the art at all. and it's this one.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
I
sorry. I'm sorry, artist. I don't like it.
yeah.
She has like a little medieval page's hairdo, or like one enormous piece of hair that curls over her head and is yellow.
You know what? The Lord Farquaad haircut.
Yeah, kind of, except it curls out
Yeah.
and is blonde. Um, her mom is always in the profile. Like we never see her face head on, probably because she would probably look like a fish. They, she, she only has one piece of hair as well.
Oh no. Oh
Her
no.
eyeballs are enormous.
Oh gosh.
They're I just don't like them at all. At all. And so I see that and I think, oh, I could totally draw that. How hard is that? How hard could that possibly be? Or you have these things, like my kids love these Alpha Prince books. I
Yeah.
despise them. That doesn't even look like a ball. What is it? That's a circle. This
Oh.
is supposed to be a girl. It's a circle with 3 hyacinth bunches of flowers on her head. Not to be confused with the boy, which is another circle with a lettuce on his head. The lettuce actually does look pretty cute. But you can't I just how how much did they get paid to make this is my question. So how hard could it be? Where is the line between a good illustration and a bad illustration?
Well, something to think about too is there are the color palette, right?
Mhm.
So is it that you don't like there are some art things where I'm like, I really like the shapes of stuff. I do not like the colors they used.
Mhm.
And so I think that also is a thing where sometimes the drawing itself is not the problem, it's the color palette. I don't know why, you
Mhm.
know. I just think it's interesting
Yeah.
what I'm not sure what it is about certain things. It's like, "Oh yeah, I really like that." And you can look at something else and just like, "Ugh, no thanks."
Show me some of the books you brought.
Okay. Heck yeah. All
Ready?
right.
Ready, go.
So, this is